So we have 6 traits or things that are innate to a person that comes from the trait approach to leadership that tells us that a leader is seen as more effective or is viewed as a leader. They emerge as a leader. So we talk about leadership effectiveness, meaning you're good as a leader. People do follow you. And we talk about leadership emergence as people see you as a leader. Being emergent leader or seen as a leader doesn't necessarily mean you're good at leading. So those are two different things, actually. So the first thing here is that we have 6 different traits that are associated with leadership. We have integrity, intelligence, self-esteem, and then we have 3 traits that come from the big 5 personality framework. They are extraversion, conscientiousness, and open to experience. So this quick recording will overview these 6 traits to leadership effectiveness and leadership emergence. So this first slide talks about integrity. So we know that people who are effective leaders, meaning they're good leaders and people do follow them, they have some sort of moral compass. They know to do the right thing in difficult situations. They trust their gut to not do what is wrong. And they also demonstrate honesty and integrity. And when we see people in positions of power that we look up to, and they're honest and they do the right thing, and we know that we can count on them whenever they said they're going to do something, we trust them much more. So people that show integrity get the trust from their followers. We also have something called intelligence, right? Sometimes it goes by the term intelligence, sometimes by cognitive ability or general mental ability. Sometimes we also talk about it as G. So psychologists tend to talk about this as G. And this is our capacity to use our cognition, our cognitive skills to do better work. And we do know that people that have higher levels of intelligence, higher levels of IQ, general mental ability, or G, whatever you want to call it, are seen as better leaders. So they are emerging as leaders. So basically, a smart person is viewed as a better leader. We do know that IQ is really a modest predictor of modest predictor is what I'm trying to say, of leadership, meaning it doesn't fully explain good leaders. So it takes much, much more than intelligence, basically, to be a great leader. And one of the things that we do know is more important than IQ is EQ. So emotional intelligence, meaning you are aware and can manage your own emotions, as well as you're aware and can manage emotions of those people around you. If you have that skill, which can be developed and improved, if you have EQ, emotional intelligence, you tend to be more successful as a leader. So IQ, like being smart enough to do the job, it's a very baseline trait to have. We also have our big 5 personality framework, if you remember. So one of them is extraversion, meaning we are social, outgoing, talkative. We have an easy time in social settings and situations, and we have no problem striking up conversations and just chatting with people. And if we are this way, if we are more outgoing and more extroverted as opposed to introverted and reclusive or shy, we tend to be seen as better leaders. So extroversion is actually our strongest predictor when it comes to leadership emergence and leadership effectiveness. So those people who are extroverted tend to, actually, I'm going to take that back. I'm going to say this. Not every person who's an extroverted person will be a leader. But if you look at those people who are in leadership positions, they tend to be extroverted, right? So extroversion is one of those traits that will get you to be a leader and chosen and elected into those leadership positions. Another big 5 is conscientiousness, meaning we are dependable, we're organized, we're goal-driven, we're ambitious. All those things tend to be great for any job that you're in. So conscientiousness across the board, across jobs, low-level, high-level jobs, any industry, doesn't matter if it's tech or banking, for-profit, non-profit, government, it doesn't matter. having high levels of conscientiousness is better. So, not surprisingly, being a conscientious leader also means that we will emerge as a leader more frequently than those people who are not conscientious. So, we emerge, meaning we're seen as leaders, and we are also more effective as leaders, meaning we do a better job in leadership positions. Then we have open to experience. This is again a big 5 personality trait. And this is the one that is sort of a proxy to creativity and innovation. And we know that people who are open to new experiences, they are not afraid of change. They embrace change. They try new things. They think outside of the box. Uh, Clearly should be in a leadership position because people who are leaders need to take on new things, try new things, even when we don't know if they're going to work or not. So think about it. It's like walking into a fog. You don't know what you're going to bump into. You don't know what happens as you walk into the fog. The person who is the least afraid to walk into the fog and have other people following him or her, that person is a leader. So you're not afraid to walk into something that is uncomfortable or you don't really know what's going to happen. And so being open to new experiences makes us better leaders. We both are seen as leaders and we are both better as leaders if we're open to experiences. And I just love this little quote here that I put on this slide, which says, a mind that is stretched by a new experience can never go back to its old dimensions. So important for us, doesn't matter if we're leaders or not, to just try new things, do new things, and just challenge ourselves constantly to make sure that we have growth in that area. And then finally, we have self-esteem, right? So the extent to which we actually like ourselves. So self-esteem is our overall assessment or overall view of ourselves. So the extent to which we actually are positive about who we are and our capabilities, and the extent to which we actually like ourselves. So people who have high levels of self-esteem, they might also be seen as more capable and they may seem as they have more self-confidence, and that is attractive. We like people who believe in themselves. So self-esteem does correlate with leadership, meaning if you have higher levels of self-esteem, you tend to do better in these leadership positions. We also know from research that high self-esteem leaders also tend to support their subordinates better than other people. I mean, they might not be afraid if somebody else is going to look better around them. So let's help each other out. So high levels of self-esteem, we help each other, which is liked by those who are around us. So if they are supported, they're going to reciprocate and want to do more for us. So it's just a win-win-win situation. Interestingly enough, we know from the early trait research that physical attributes such as height used to be correlated, meaning taller people were leaders more often, so they were correlated. Interestingly, no, we know now that that might be a self-esteem issue. So the people who are taller tend to feel good about that because society tends to like tall people. So I'm tall, I feel great about it, so I come off as self-confidence. So it's not the height itself that makes you a better leader, obviously, but it's the fact that you feel good about it. So high levels of self-esteem tends to make us better leaders. Okay, those are our 6 traits associated with leadership: integrity, intelligence, self-esteem, open to experience, conscientiousness, and extraversion, which wraps it for this recording. Thank you. Bye.